There are a lot of James Bond villains, and a lot of them are pretty great, so I thought I would make a video about this. I'm going to be doing two honorable mentions this time, so let's begin. My two honorable mentions are Jonathan Pryce from Tomorrow Never Dies and Julian Glover from For Your Eyes Only. Both are pretty good villains, just not top 10 worthy, really. Jonathan Pryce is having a lot of fun. He's hamming it up in Tomorrow Never Dies. He's got some great scenes. And Julian Glover was just kind of forgettable, but the fact that he was in James Bond, Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Game of Thrones, and Doctor Who is something definitely worth mentioning, and that's the only reason why he got on this video to begin with. Number 10 is the very first James Bond villain, Dr. No. Dr. No is actually a pretty good villain. He's evil, he's menacing, he's one of the leaders of Spectre. And the only reason why he's this low is because he doesn't really get a long screen time. If we would have been able to hang out with him a little longer and see the evil stuff he does, he probably would have been higher on this list, and would have been cool to have a better fight at the end, because he's pretty dangerous with his metal hands. But as it stands, he's at number 10, and he's a pretty great villain. Number 9 is Max Zorn, played by Christopher Walken. Christopher Walken's a brilliant actor. He's my favorite thing about A View to a Kill because he's freaking Christopher Walken. Um, and the only reason why he's at number 9 is because if he would have been in a better movie, if he was in The Living Daylights, it would have been a lot better. But he was really good in the Golden Gate Bridge fight, better than Moore, because Moore is an old man. But yeah, he's great. The movie's menacing. He's evil. His assistant Mayday, played by Grace Jones, she's kind of strange, but I'll mention her just because she's in the movie. She's his sidekick, so whatever. Michael Longsdale's Hugo Drax is one of the best things in Moonraker, if not the best thing. He's just doing a very good job of using subtlety and using a little bit of good humor, subtle humor, to make an awesome performance. I mean, his villain, it's got that subtlety. He's a great villain. I mean, you can tell Michael Longstell is really enjoying himself. Unfortunately, I don't think he gets enough good scenes. I mean, every scene he's in is fantastic, and I wish he would have some scenes of just him by himself discussing things with people and stuff. A little more of that, because normally I don't like watching that, but with him, I would take it any day. And then there's Jaws, and I know that he was also in The Spy Who Loved Me, and I was gonna rank him as his own villain, but I didn't want three different honorable mentions, so I just put him with Hugo Drax. But yeah, Jaws is my second favorite, my third favorite sidekick. This guy is just awesome. I mean, Richard Kiel has so much fun playing this role. He's got tons of great fight scenes with Bond, or Roger Moore's Bond, and just every single scene he's in, I'm always looking at him. He's always great in the scenes, and yeah, definitely one of the best and most notable sidekicks for his unique teeth and for being taller than a freaking basketball player. Jeez Louise, he's tall. One thing I will bitch about though about Jaws is that his send-off is absolute crap. He helps Bond because he's got a girlfriend, oh god, because they met over Shakespeare music, or I think it's Romeo and Juliet, but whatever. It's stupid. Ugh. But yeah, other than that, Jaws is pretty sweet. Le Chiffre was the first Bond villain ever, not in the movies, but in the books. He was the first one that Bond ever encountered, and Orson Welles and Peter something I think it was played this role before, but Matt Mickelson does it the most accurately and the most interestingly. I mean, he's got the eye that's definable, but he's a very interesting character, and he's more human than the other ones. He's got the subtlety like Hugo Drax, but he's a very real villain, and Mads Mikkelsen plays it perfectly. I mean, Mads Mikkelsen's a phenomenal actor in everything I've seen him in, especially this movie. So yeah, that's why Le Chiffre's on this list. I've always wanted to see James Bond go up against the Joker, and right here's the closest we're ever gonna get to that. Javier Bardem as Silva in Skyfall. He's phenomenal. I'm not a big fan of his plan because it's kind of like the one from Goldeneye, but other than that, I mean, he has a lot of. He's like evil. He's funny. He's intimidating at times. Javier Bardem does all of it perfectly. Your eyes are always glued on him whenever there's a scene with him. He's a great villain. Send off was a little weak, but he's awesome. Rosa Klebb is my favorite female Bond villain. Lotte Lenya plays this character, and she's a very strange, mischievous character working for Spectre, and she's great in every scene that she's in. I mean, she's very interesting, she's very clever at times, and she's relentless to get to her objective. Her sidekick, Robert Shaw, however, is a different story. He is freaking fantastic. Robert Shaw is one of my favorite actors. He's Quint from Jaws, and he's great in this movie. I mean, he kind of defined what the typical Bond villain should look like, or like the big sidekick, tall, blonde, muscular. And Robert Shaw, he had that unique characteristic where he could do impersonations, he was clever, he was sly, and he could kick ass, and he was in a very intense fight scene, so that's why he's on here. Yaphet Kotto from Live and Let Die is so awesome in this movie. He's a fantastic villain. And, I mean, he's hamming it up in every single scene he's in. Always look like he's enjoying himself. Playing an intimidating, clever, sly villain. He's basically everything that you want in a Bond villain. And he can be pretty frightening at times. Well, like, not to me, but, like, you can just tell by the other characters' reactions to him that this guy ain't fooling around. He's a leader of a imaginary place called San Monique. And yeah, he is just so good in this movie. He's got some great sidekicks too. Baron Samedi is a pretty great and memorable Bond villain. So is Teehee. This guy is so cool. Whenever he's on screen, whenever all these guys are on screen, my eyes are always on them. They're very memorable James Bond villains, and that's why, of course, they're number 4. Why else would they be on here? Alec Trevelyan's one of the best villains ever because he is Bond's equal, and he's played by Sean freaking Bean, who is one of my all-time favorite actors, by the way. I mean, this guy is a phenomenal actor. He's great in the action sequences. He's also pretty clever and cool, and that's why I like the Bond villains, and Sean Bean does that perfectly. Xenia, played by Famke Janssen, is also memorable in her own way. And Orloff is like the male version of Rosa Klebb from From Russia with Love, and he's great in the movie too. I like this guy. He's great in the opening pre-title sequence. Francisco Scaramanga, otherwise known as the Man with the Golden Gun and played by Christopher Lee, is everything you want in a Bond villain, and his gadgets are very memorable too. He's the best thing about the Man with the Golden Gun movie, and no wonder why he's the title character, well, not only because it's based on it, but because, well, he's the best thing about the movie. He's awesome. Christopher Lee's one of my favorite actors, and he's just great in everything he's in, and this is definitely no exception. That's why he's at number 3. Goldfinger is one of my favorite villains in movie history, along with the number 1 pick and number 3. I mean, this actor, Gert Frobe, I believe it is, his lines are dubbed over, but he's so great. He is so fun to watch, and every single minute he's on screen, he is clever. He's everything, really. He's everything you want in a Bond villain. He's one of the most iconic characters ever. He's created some of the most iconic scenes ever, and just everything about him is just so great. I mean, he's always fun to watch on screen, and he's an intimidating villain. And while Goldfinger may not be a physical threat, he's got Oddjob for that, my second favorite Bond sidekick. I'm putting Goldfinger at number 2, but Oddjob would be around the same area as Red Grant. Oddjob is so awesome. He's one of my favorite characters in movie history as well. I mean, he's Oddjob. How could you not like the dude? I mean, he's pretty likable in his own right. I mean, he's so cool with his hat and everything. Very iconic character. 2 fantastic characters, but not as good as my number 1 pick. And yeah, I'll tell you why. The bottom 2 on this picture of the 4 actors that have played Blofeld are not worth mentioning. The one in the left-hand corner is Donald Pleasance playing Blofeld and You Only Live Twice. He looks like Dr. Evil, yes, but Blofeld is the most parodied because he's the most awesome out of any Bond villain ever. And Telly Savalas is in the best movie that has Blofeld in it, on Her Majesty's Secret Service. He's in the right-hand corner, by the way. Both of these actors do such a fantastic job of portraying this character, and they play just the epitome Bond villain perfectly. And even Max von Sydow is great too. It's just that he's not Blofeld. But yeah, Donald Pleasance plays the role perfectly, and so does Savalas. And you know, You Only Live Twice is entertaining. The best scenes have Blofeld, and so do some of the scenes in On Her Majesty's Secret Service. They show why this character is so intimidating. After all, Savalas is the one who comes up with killing Bond's wife. That's evil. It's not an original pick for number one, but I really don't care. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. A High Time to Kill is coming up at the end of the month, so tune into that. Thank you for watching.